If you're a nail tech who sees these numbers on nail file but you don't know what they mean, or you know what they mean but you don't know which one to use for what, let me break it down for you to beginner level so that you get to understand very well. So these numbers now, they are trying to tell you how rough or smooth the nail file is. And there are three different categories for beginner level. Yeah, there's three categories. Just picture it like this: there is coarse, there is medium, and there is fine. So when you hear that word fine, you already know that it means smooth, right? So something medium now is a bit more rough than fine. Then coarse is now very rough compared to medium. So what you use coarse for is not the same thing that you use fine for. You understand? So anything from 100 to 150 grits is a coarse nail file. Just have it in mind. 100 to 150 is coarse nail file. Then anything from 180 to 240 grits is a medium nail file. Then anything from 240 upward is a fine nail file. Do you understand? So the higher the number, the smoother the file is. Now the 80 to 150 grit, that is a coarse nail file, should not be used on a client's natural nail because of how rough it is. If you use a rough nail file, a nail file that is very rough on someone's natural nail, you're going to be chopping off too much layers of that person's nail, which is not good for their nails. You're going to weaken their nails by doing that. Then anything from 180 grit to that 240, which is the medium, can be used on natural nail. You can use it for prepping. So anything from that 180, depending on how strong the person's natural nail is, I would say you should use something, anything 180 to 40, you're good to go for natural nails. You can use it for prepping and stuff. You can also use it for shaping. But if you want a faster result for shaping, you should use that 80 to 150 grit. Then anything from 240 grit upwards is mostly for smoothing the surface of what you've already filed. So let's say now you used the 80 grit to file an artificial nail. You know the nail will be looking very rough. Then you want to make it a bit smoother. You will take anything from 240 grit upward to use and make it smoother. After that, you can go ahead and use your buffer. Buffers are usually from like 500 grits upwards and stuff. So the higher the number, the smoother the nail file. Now, what about files like this that has both 100 and 180 written on it? It's simply because this file, one side is 100 grits, the other side is 180 grits. But let me touch it. So it's when you touch it that you will know okay, so this part of it now is rough more than this part of it. So it means that this part of it that is rough is the 100 grits, while this part of it that is smoother is the 180 grits. So when you see it written like this, it means that the two sides are not the same grits, they are different grits. But if you just see 100 written on it, it means that both sides are 100 grits. Whatever number you see on it, if they didn't add another number to it, it means that both sides are equally as rough or as smooth. So that's it for nail file, and the same applies for drill bits. So if you want me to dive deeper on that one, we can go ahead and do that. You let me know in the comments. We have different grits of nail file in the Urev nail store, on our website or Telegram store, as well as almost any other thing that you might need as a nail tech. It's the safest place nail techs get their products, so you can go ahead, and if you have any issues placing your order or you cannot access the store, you can just send us a DM, so we'll put you through.